Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today is Antonio Makes Mondays. And so today we're working on another Christmas project, and it's his Baubles kit. And this is such a sweet kit. It is 4 pages. It's a mini kit, so I think it costs a lot less than the regular big kits that he has. And it's different baubles. So I've printed them on cardstock in an ivory color. So, because I like the antique look more so than the stark white. But I'll just show you the 4 different sets, or 4 different kinds here. So there's this one. I think this one is my favorite. And there's these with the houses on them. Love that. This one I like as well. And there are some done with blue bows. The others have red bows. And another set here with the red bows and the greens. So just a lovely, fun item to work with. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is you could just cut these out, fussy cut them out, and use them on a card, giving them that raised look. You can use them as a gift tag. So because I said I was kind of working on packaging and different types of packaging, I thought, this would be a perfect thing to make a gift tag. But yeah, if you just cut it out, which I've done here, I've cut out a couple. It's a pretty gift tag. Just hole punch it. You can go right on the back, your sentiments, and put it right onto a gift just like that. It's so cute. Nothing to do. But, I like to do things a little bit different. So I decided to double them up and add a little bit of more dimension to it. I hope you can see the dimension in here. And make them sort of a 2D type of tag. Something that people would have on a gift. And, there are people who don't keep this kind of stuff. But there are some people are very sentimental. And they would keep this. And it can be hung on the tree. I haven't tied a knot in these because I figured you're going to tie it onto a gift and then they can take it off the gift and keep it for the future. Just, to hang on the tree or put on a card or something. So I've done a couple here. And what I did is, now this was my first one. I made a couple mistakes on this one, so I'm going to get this out of the way. So I'm not fond of this one because, first of all, I cut it out kind of wonky. And so then I had to cut the second one out wonky. But I love how the bow sits up with the tool inside. And then this one has kind of the waves of the water here, which I love how that turned out. And then, again, this one is my favorite because I was able to cut out the flower as well as the feathery top. So that was a lot of fun to make. So very easy to do, very fast. Anything you print, you have to print in 2s because you're using one as your base and one as your layering. Now, I originally started to put holes to hole punch these, but I realized that the cord I'm using would be too heavy to go through the hole and it would possibly break it. So I'm doing it a little bit differently. So I figured that out as well. See, that's the good thing is we do all these tests for you and then we show you the finished results. So I've got 2, because I wasn't going to fussy cut on camera today. So I've got 2 of this style and 2 of this style here. And my first thought was I wanted them to be kind of inked up a little bit. And I did play, I have a gold ink and I did play with the gold ink, but it really didn't give me that much of an impression. And I tried 2 different types of gold and I really didn't like it. So then I had to dig deep, far down in the depths of my stuff, and I found some rub-on that I had. I knew I have some jars of it as well, but I found this little packet. And so I just took one of them, and taking the gold, I just inked the edges with the gold. Now you could do this with glitter. You could use different types of embossing powders, whatever you have on hand. It's not, I just wanted something to give it a little bit of an edge and take away the cream white that's, you know, might show when you fussy cut it, and just to give it a little bit of dimension as well. And I'm not being perfect with this because it is going to be layered. And on this one, I'm just going around the edges. Now, to do the layers, some of you use those little pop circle things, stickers, those little things to give dimension, to raise it. Yeah, I've got a package of them somewhere. I don't know exactly where. And then I just fold around the outside edge of the bow, not perfectly, just a little bit here, just to give it a little bit more color. I hope you can see that while I'm doing this. So it's just a little bit of dimension. So then you have to kind of decide what it is you want to cut out. And so in this one, I've decided I'm going to cut out this flower, sort of this fleur-de-lis kind of flower, and of course the bow. So I didn't go too crazy with fussy cutting. I just cut around some of the major pieces so that you can see them, knowing that you'll be able to still see some stuff behind as well. And cutting this, I'm going to cut up to this little ball here and then let the rest of it. Now you do have to cut out 2 sets for all of these. Now there's 12 balls, so I had to cut out or print 8 sheets in order to do the set of 12, but I actually printed 16 because I think I'm going to make these for all my gifts this year. Love this Antonia. This is so cute. And again, just going around. So I have a little bit of a piece to work with that is going to sit on top of this one now. And then the bow, I just cut out around the bow, and that was pretty easy as it is. The whole piece to cut out is actually quite easy. You know, it doesn't take long. I will have all of these done this afternoon. After I turn off the camera, of course, not with you. But yeah, I plan to make a set of 24 of these because I'm ambitious. Now, I could go further into the layering. I thought about it. I thought about doing 3 deep with the layering, but this is plenty. And it will look nice just with the 2 pieces on here. So this is the little bit of waste that I do have. And I could probably die cut something small out of there, but I've got quite a bit of small stuff. So I'm going to actually let this one go. So the next thing you need to do is you have to have a hanger of some kind that you're going to glue down first. And I'm using my hot glue gun for everything on here today. And I had some gold cord, so I'm just going to find the halfway point here and just give it a little bit of pinch. You might have some gold thread, which would work fine. You know, it doesn't have to be gold. It could be a red cord. Maybe you've got some embroidery cotton, or not embroidery cotton, crochet cotton that you can use. That would be fine as well, but it's just to make a hanger. And so I put it in a dab of glue into the center of the bow, and it really doesn't matter that it's dimensional because you want that dimension when you put the second layer on anyway. So I'm just holding it in place for a second or 2 until the glue dries. So you can see it's nothing fancy. Dries, hardens, not dries. Okay, and so then the bow itself, now I'm going to ink that as well, or put the gold rub on it. I'm actually glad I'm making these because this is something that's been sitting. The only thing I've used is a little bit of the blue in the past, and everything else is just sitting here. So I'm going to put these to use now that they're out and I found them. So just going around the edges. This is the part that takes the longest, is adding this gold on here. And then I just added a little bit of gold into the creases of the bow just to give it a little bit more depth. This is a lovely kit, and you can have all your gift tags made in no time at all. So I've done them, and I'll just bring it up for you to see a little bit closer. And now I'm going to do this bottom piece as well. And what the gold does is it just kind of outlines. I think when I'm doing the blue ones, I'll probably use silver. It just outlines just to give it a little bit more depth again, because you can certainly see it once you put these together. And a super fun, easy little project to do. And then these little gold balls, I think I'm going to just enhance them a little bit more. Okay, so now comes the easy part. It's gluing this down. Now I'm going to use hot glue, and I'm only going to do half of it at a time so that it doesn't set on me. And one of the biggest things you have to be careful is you don't want to press it down. If you press it down, you're just going to make it flatter, and then you have a chance of the glue oozing out. So I'm putting quite a bit of glue on, and you have to be fairly fast. So you can see I've got a lot of glue on there. And you can do these with your pop dots or whatever you call them. And I'm just lining it up, but I'm just letting it fall into place. I'm not squishing it down, because then it's going to go and then the glue will ooze out. And then I just leave that to harden for a second. And then I just lift up this side and just roll it back a little bit. And do the same thing, just push it down enough that it's touching the other piece, but not squishing the glue down. And now the fun part is the bow. Now I'm just going to put a little tie in these just so that they're out of the way and they don't get glue on them. But the fun part about the bow is you're just doing the center. So I'm just putting a big blob on top of the cord I had already put down. And then I'm just resting this on top. But again, not pressing it down, just pushing it enough to make sure that it does touch the other glue and that it's adhering to the paper, but you don't want to squish it out. Isn't that cute? Now you saw how quickly that was to do. The only other thing I wanted is I wanted to make sure that these wouldn't flatten down, and I wanted to have that sense of dimension. So I had this gold mesh. Nothing fancy. And if you go to your local dollar store, if you don't have gold tulle or mesh or something at home, there are all different kinds of things that you can buy at the dollar store for very inexpensive. You can get those rolls of tulle that have the gold glitter in them. You can even buy ribbon like this, because I actually pulled this out to try it. It's not the right color, of course, but you could even take ribbon like this and just trim off the outside edges just to get the little tool part. So it's very easy to find something to work with to do the behind the bow. And all I did was I cut out 2 squares about 2 inches. And they're not perfect. And then folding it in half and folding it again in half till you get that one point that's kind of the center. And then I just holding on to that one point that's folded up. I just took my scissors and round cornered this. In fact, this is how I showed you how to make the round circles of fabric for doing the yo-yos. It's the same idea. So now that I'm holding this point, I don't want to let it go, but I'm going to turn it around. So here's the point. And, you know, you may want to do it a little differently than I do. Like you may want to put your glue in there and then push this into the glue, but I'm brave. And so I just put the glue all around this little point. So I have a nice big blob of glue here. I hope you can see it. And then I just tuck it under the bow like so, and then press this into the ever so gently. You don't want to flatten it. You just want to make sure that that tool catches. And so then doing the same thing again, you can just fold it up into the 4 corners. Get your little folded point that's right there. Holding on to it and rounding off so you have a nice round. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to see how it's imperfect when you've got this put together. So I'm just going to lift this side up a little bit now. Hope you can see all that pretty good. And then just taking the glue and blobbing it on. Just got to be quick. Now everybody's different. Maybe it's easier for you to put it on the spot. And then I'm just tucking this under the bow just so it's just peeking out a little bit. Now you can even go further with this and put some glitter on here. I've got gold everywhere. Some glitter on here. You could have a nice big gold glitter star in the center. Gee, I wonder if I could find my little glitter blobs. Let's see. I never thought of it until now. How cute that would be, right? Okay, here we go. Hopefully there's something in here that'll work. Might be opening up a whole new can of worms, but even a little flower in the center would be cute. I don't have much in the way of gold in here. Oh, here's a gold one. Little gold teardrop. That would look cute too. You could even go, and I'm not going to do this right now, but you could actually put all kinds of little glittery things on top if you want to get that fancy. That's not gold. Yeah, just because I want gold, I don't have any to show you. Just a bronze one. But even that would be pretty in itself, wouldn't it? Okay, so this was not a good idea to do at this time, but it would still make it look cute. You can add all kinds of things. You can add your, if you have the glitter in the bottles, you can do some dots with glitter in the bottles. I personally like it quite plain, but I may go back and put some goodies in the center. And that's something I can show you later on in the week when I do my follow-up. You'll see how I finished these and how I finished all of them. So I'm going to do one more for you, this little house, because this one's a little bit different, except now I've got all these gems in my way here. Okay, this is how we work. And I think you're used to me working like this. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to ink one of these up with the gold. It's amazing how just putting that little bit of gold just changes it already, right? And so experiment with what you have. Don't rush out and buy things that you don't need, unless you're planning to do these for all of your gifts and stuff. I suppose I could have done this ahead of time, but then it would really be a fast craft, and then we'd be done in like nothing. Now, if you decide you want to go get this kit, like I said, there's 12 different baubles in the one kit, and it's very inexpensive. And you just go to Antonio's website. I've got all that information in the description below. I'm just running a little bit along the bow ties here. Because you will see that a little bit underneath. But if you do decide to go to Antonio's website, if you purchase from him and you put in the code Kim in capital letters and the number 10, you will get 10% off your entire purchase, and it also gives me a small commission. So now this one, it was a question of what are you going to cut out of here? And I figured, it would be very hard to cut out, the little house or the little village here. So I figured I'm going to run across the whole trees here with my scissors and just take the trees. That's all I need out of this one. And the bow, of course. So I'm going to go a little bit wider than the trees and try and catch some of the other background a little bit, but not the houses themselves. Just everything but. Catching a little bit of the snow and a little bit of the hills. And, the little bit of the blue in the sky and stuff. But really, it's just about getting the trees. So that's what I'm using. So, Antonio, next year when you make these baubles with new designs, can we have an extra set of bows on the page? That would be nice. Although we would probably still want to cut out part of the bauble itself. Okay, can we have 6 baubles on a page? And still have 12 baubles, but 2 of each on a page. Please. Okay, so again, a little bit of waste, but not a lot. It's not something I will use, so I'm going to let it go. And these are the 2 pieces that I'm going to gild with my gold. You could also go with a gold pen. Maybe you have a gold felt marker. I could have done that too. I've got... Mind you, I really want to get some of this stuff used up that I have here. Now, I will go, once I'm all completely done with all of these, I will go with a tissue and just wipe off any of the excess gold, because I'm getting it all over my fingers right now. but it will dry and get into the paper a little bit. So have some of you got your tree up already? I know you in the United States you just had your Thanksgiving. I don't know, do you put your tree up before Thanksgiving? Okay, so there's my bow is done. Yeah, it's a little bit heavy on this one, but I'll wipe it back afterwards. And now doing the edges around the trees. It's just to, again, show a little bit more dimension. And then around the outside. I love how these are turning out. They are so cute. I have to tell you, there was one year I wrapped my sister-in-law's present in a brown paper bag, and I decorated it. It wasn't her only present, but she made a comment about my wrapping skills at the time, even though I had other nice gifts wrapped really nicely. Especially because I've always done this kind of stuff. So she, you know, it wasn't meant to be anything mean. It was just that she had made a comment that she got a brown paper package. And it was pretty brown and plain, but it was because it was a last minute gift, and I, you know, I kind of picked it up on our way to their place, and so I wrapped it in a brown paper bag and just stapled it shut, I think. And so the next year, I was giving her a very small, very, you know, nothing type of gift, but I wrapped it in this huge box, and then I spent hours making this poinsettia, a floral arrangement that cascaded over top of the sides of the box and all over the place. And I thought, yeah, like she's going to open this present. Well, you know, it took her a while, but she did open it without ruining the arrangement, and then she kept it for years after that. So I scored on that one. Anyway, I'm going to add my little hanger. So I'm just putting a dot of glue where I want the hanger to be. And I've already folded the cord in half. But like I said, you can do this with ribbon. You can actually make a hole. But this particular cord was just too thick. I would have, in fact, I did tear it, the first one I did, because I tried to make a hole in it. Okay, so once that's dry, I'm going to just turn it around. And this will be so fun to see, because this one is new to me. I've got some glue stuck here. All right, so I'm going to put, I'm going to do half of this and then do the other half when I put it down. Now that might ease out a little bit. I'm not sure. All right, now we have to line it up. Yeah, that one's oozing out just a little bit. But I think I can catch that. Yeah, it's gone. I'm just pressing it, but not pushing it down. And now I'm going to lift up this side. Oh, I think this one's going to be my favorite. Look how nice that came out, eh? Now that's a Canadian thing, you know that. Okay, so now I can do the same thing with the bow. Remember, it's just one dot in the center for the bow. And then just pressing this in, but just ever so lightly, just enough to catch it, and that's it. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, this is my favorite one so far, I think. Lots of gold on my hands. Okay, and then taking my tool again and cutting out 2 little squares. And they're about 2 inches. I don't measure, you know that. And this has got a little bit of a chunk taken right out of it, so it really doesn't matter. It's just folding it up into 4, catching the point, and then rounding it off a little bit. And then holding the other side so that the point is exposed. Putting some glue on it all the way around it, a big blob. You do have to be careful because if this drips, it's going to hurt. And then lifting up the bow where I want it to be and just tucking it underneath. Press down just a little tiny bit and then do the same thing with this one. Holding on to the point. Rounding off the edges a little bit. And you can leave them rough too. I mean, it will just look a little bit more shaggy. And then lifting up the bow here, because none of this is glued down, just the center piece is glued down. And then putting a little bit of glue. And tucking it underneath. And pressing it down a little bit. A few little strands there. And I'm just going to tie this in a loose knot just to get it out of the way until I'm ready to use it. And another one is done. Look at that. Isn't that the cutest? Oh my goodness. Love it, love it, love it. These turned out so cute. Okay, well that's it for my video for today. It is Monday. You would not believe the wind we have right now. It is just crazy. If there are any leaves left on the trees, they are gone. And tomorrow will be my Techniques Tuesday video. But I'm going to continue to play with this afternoon and get more of these made. They look just amazing, don't they? They are so cute. Wouldn't it be nice to have a gift where you've got one of these on your gift and then you get to keep it afterwards to put on the tree? Yeah, that's my little video for today for packaging. And go and see Antonio's website and purchase from him because he's got some great kits there that you can play with. And get all your Christmas packaging and stuff ready to go. Have yourself a very creative week. It is Monday. Tomorrow's Techniques Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm going to be doing the opening of my next bunch of Happy Mail movement. Oh my goodness, I picked up 6 of those envelopes the other day. I'm so excited to open them, and I'm going to the mailbox again today. So hopefully there'll be a few more waiting for me. And but I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye now.